Welcome back to my channel. Prepare for a challenging but life-altering truth. The key to a woman's love isn't what you think. It's not about your looks, your wealth, or your skills, it's about your self-control. A staggering 95.7% of women find a man's ability to master himself utterly irresistible. This quality is known as Stoicism. The reason so many men fail in relationships is that they chase everything but what is effective. They become overly available, crave attention, and try to understand women instead of first understanding themselves. And men often make themselves too available, plead for attention, and pursue love obsessively, focusing on understanding women rather than themselves. The hard reality is that female attraction is instinctual, not logical. This instinct acts like a radar, sensing whether a man is in control of himself or if he falters with every emotion, rejection, or impulse. If you want to be a man that women can't overlook, you must stop using superficial techniques and focus on developing one key trait. What you need to develop is emotional control, specifically Stoic emotional control. Here's a paradoxical truth. Most won't tell you, the less you depend on a woman emotionally, the more she values you. Your calmness in chaotic situations makes her feel secure, and the more self-respect you have, the more she will strive to earn yours. This isn't about manipulation, it's rooted in biological psychology and human nature. A woman is inherently drawn to a man who doesn't act childishly when he doesn't get his way. She is drawn to a man who can handle a no without falling apart, who can remain silent without anxiety, leave without pleading, and feel deeply without losing his composure. This man becomes a challenge, an anchor, and an obsession for her. Conversely, men who don't grasp this concept are caught in a cycle of self-sabotage. When a woman pulls away, they become more insistent. They panic when ignored and self-destruct when rejected, ultimately losing her respect and their own. This video aims to break that self-destructive pattern. We are not here to offer you superficial tricks to get women to like you. Instead, we are here to explore why a Stoic man is perceived as a dominant, attractive, and emotionally strong figure. True attraction is not about loud displays or faking. It's conveyed silently through your decisions, the boundaries you establish, and the emotions you master. Today, we're discussing the difficult truth that will change your value in the eyes of almost all women. This truth might seem harsh, but it's liberating. It's a truth you won't find on social media, but one that every mature man needs to internalize. Self-mastery is more valuable than any other quality to a woman. Once you understand this, you'll realize the game isn't about chasing women. It's about becoming the kind of man they can't control, replace, or forget. Prepare to discover how Stoicism can make you irresistible without having to chase anyone. Point 1. Control your feelings. Women aren't drawn to weakness. Point 2. Indifference captivates them. Embrace detachment. Point 3. Self-control equals dominance. A reserved man commands respect. Point 4. Lead, don't react. Male silence is compelling. Many men resist the truth that uncontrolled emotional displays diminish their masculine appeal. Society may encourage men to be more open and emotional, while sounding good in theory. This doesn't align with the reality of female attraction. A woman might say she wants a sensitive man, but she'll be turned off if she sees you as insecure or needy. This isn't malicious, it's biological. Women instinctively seek stability and protection, and your emotional breakdown signals the opposite. This perceived weakness doesn't elicit compassion but a quiet rejection, as it erodes her trust in your strength and kills attraction. Collapsing over a text, begging for attention, or crying for her comfort sabotages your masculine value instead of deepening your bond. This isn't about repressing emotions, but about not giving them away freely. Not everyone, especially a new acquaintance, deserves access to your inner world. A Stoic man's reserve comes from self-mastery, not weakness. It's not about being emotionless, but about not being a slave to your feelings. A man who suffers quietly and perseveres is valued more than one who breaks down seeking sympathy. What's admirable is not the pain itself, but the ability to remain steadfast through it. Consider this: a man dates a woman for a few weeks, and things seem fine. Then, she starts replying slowly. He panics, bombards her with messages, questions what he did wrong, and sends long, emotional voice notes declaring his feelings and distress. He begs her not to leave. Does this evoke empathy? No, it causes rejection. At that moment, he loses his allure and strength, transforming from an interesting man into another needy person. Though she won't voice it, her respect for him diminishes, and without respect, desire fades. Had he instead noticed her change in behavior and withdrawn with dignity, without drama or playing the victim, her reaction would have been entirely different. This would have sparked curiosity, respect, and even a renewed attraction, because this is how female psychology operates. Women are not attracted to your emotions, but to your control over them. A man who constantly seeks approval, affection, or validation is unattractive. However, a man who is comfortable with solitude, remains composed under pressure, and stays calm when others are panicking is magnetic. This is the kind of man that 95.7% of women find irresistible. Remember, it's not about suppressing your feelings, but about avoiding unnecessary displays of emotional weakness. Don't seek comfort from her, find strength within yourself. Don't cry for her attention, make her earn yours. The day you stop being overly emotional is the day she will start feeling more for you. Second, being indifferent drives women crazy. This is the power of detachment. This may be a hard pill to swallow, but it will fundamentally change how you interact with women. Women are not drawn to the man who idolizes them, but to the one who can live happily without them. It's that straightforward. The man who goes to great lengths for her and shows his complete availability from the start loses his value. It's not because she is a bad person, but because you've signaled that she is the most valuable thing in your life, which diminishes attraction for a woman. The truth is, women desire what they cannot control. You become irresistible when they are uncertain if they truly have you. Many men get frustrated by a woman's distance or perceived games, but they fail to see that she is testing their emotional stability. She is assessing whether you will lose control, start chasing her, panic, or remain calm, indifferent, and steadfast. This is where Stoic detachment becomes crucial. Being detached isn't about being cold or hating women, it's about emotional independence. It means not needing them for your completeness and not centering your self-worth on their approval. This attitude communicates value, mystery, power, and masculinity, which many women find irresistible. Consider this: the moment you become overly attached, you cede your power. Your decisions start revolving around pleasing her, your priorities shift, and your world centers on her moods and validation. She will notice this, and her admiration for you will fade. A woman becomes obsessed with a man she can't fully figure out, one who she feels could leave at any moment without falling apart. When she senses that losing him won't break him, but will instead make him more focused and disciplined, it deeply affects her. This emotional response activates her interest and makes her begin to pursue him. This might sound harsh, but the nature of female attraction is not about fairness, it's about reality. And the reality is that an emotionally independent man is always more attractive than one who is constantly available. Imagine a man who is charismatic and confident but also has his own life. He doesn't text her constantly and sometimes takes a while to reply or leaves her on read without feeling guilty. He's not playing games, he's genuinely busy and doesn't depend on her. This makes her wonder about him. What is he up to? Does he like me? Is he seeing other people? Why isn't he panicking to get my attention like other men? At that point, the emotional dynamic shifts. She transitions from being the center of attention to seeking it from him. Because he is scarce and a challenge, she cannot control him, and this ignites her desire. A detached man isn't cruel, he's valuable. He doesn't play with her emotions, he simply doesn't stake his identity on her. Crucially, detachment isn't a manipulation tactic but a way of living freely. You're not acting aloof to win her over, you simply value yourself and have a clear direction in life, so her departure isn't a significant loss. You value yourself so much and know your worth, and you have such a clear direction in your life that if she leaves, you lose nothing you can't replace. And that, my friend, is power. True masculine power isn't about dominating her, it's about mastering yourself. So completely that nothing and no one can control your emotions. A woman is drawn to this kind of man because he represents emotional security, which most people lack. She may have beauty, followers, and many options, but when she meets a man who isn't swayed by these things, it shakes her to the core. This is because she is no longer in control, and when she's not in control, her feelings are most intense. That's why detachment isn't coldness, it's emotional leadership. It means being the man who remains calm in chaos, and in that calmness, she feels desire, not pity. Many men believe they must be constantly available for a woman to choose them. But a valuable man is not always available. He's busy building his own empire, and if she wants to be part of his life, she must earn her place, not just show up and expect it. Pay attention to this. The more you detach from her, the more she becomes attached to you. You are no longer communicating, "I need you." Instead, your presence, attitude, and actions convey, "I'm fine without you, but if you stay, you must add value." This changes the entire dynamic. There is nothing more attractive than a man who can walk away when he isn't valued, who doesn't beg for love or attention. A man who, instead of asking, "Why don't you choose me?" lives as if to say, "You will soon find out what you'll lose." That kind of energy and quiet confidence drives them crazy because they can't manipulate, control, or forget him. In conclusion of the second section, detachment creates scarcity. Scarcity is perceived as valuable, and what is valuable is pursued. If you can master your need for female attention, choose peace over drama, and walk away without looking back when you're not valued, you will not only attract more women but the right ones. Third, the one who controls himself, dominates. The reserved man earns respect. Something they haven't told you is that being cold doesn't mean being insensitive, it means being respected. As men, we are often conditioned to react. If a woman ignores you, you react. If she rejects you, you try to explain. If she yells, you yell back. If she leaves, you chase her. In doing so, you gradually lose the one thing that makes you truly powerful, self-control. Honestly, how many times have you acted on impulse, fearing that if you didn't, you would lose her? You thought you had to show her how much you cared. But what was the result? You lost respect, dignity, and, most importantly, yourself. This is where emotional control is key. When a man is composed, not because he is emotionless but because he doesn't react impulsively, he operates from a position of self-mastery. This energy is what a woman recognizes as emotional authority. She doesn't need to be told, she feels it. She senses that this man is unbreakable, that he doesn't need permission to exist, and that he can say no without fear. This generates something that physique, money, or sweet words cannot buy: genuine respect. A man who controls himself doesn't sell himself short, beg for attention, fall for provocations, or kneel in fear of being alone. That's why he isn't easily forgotten. Most men lose this power because they fear being seen as cold, that she'll think they don't care, or that she'll leave if they don't react as she expects. What they fail to realize is that the more you control yourself, the more you control the emotional dynamic of the relationship. When you don't react, you lead. When you don't beg, you establish boundaries. When you don't over-explain, you maintain an air of mystery. This is what attracts an emotionally mature woman, though many may not believe it. No one respects someone who is emotionally volatile or who melts at a pretty glance. Respect is born from self-control, which in turn comes from inner value. Do you want to be taken seriously and genuinely admired? Then, start cultivating that coldness you fear, the uncomfortable silence when you don't need to respond, the calm demeanor when things fall apart, and the firmness to say no without explanation. The cold man isn't distant, he is solid. He doesn't hide from his emotions but confronts them without letting them take over. This calm, centered presence is a powerful magnet. While others become agitated, he observes. While they chase, he remains still. While they justify themselves, he smiles and moves on. Most importantly, he does this not to be liked, but because he has already chosen himself. This is true respect, not demanded, but earned through presence, coherence, and control. So, if you've ever been told that being cold is a flaw, disregard it. In the real world, the one who controls himself is the one who dominates, and the one who dominates doesn't need to ask for respect. He commands it without a word. Fourth, don't react. Lead. Male silence is irresistible. Let's be blunt, you're reacting too much, and it's costing you dearly. She posts a story with another man, and you get jealous. She takes a while to reply, and you send multiple messages. She says something that bothers you, and you explode just to have the last word. She sees a weak, insecure, and predictable man who only reacts instead of leads, which is deeply unattractive. Most men today are more focused on responding than on controlling the interaction's pace. They are emotionally hooked on her every move, word, and signal as if their self-worth depended on it. You need to wake up. You are not here to play her game, you are here to create your own. If she doesn't want to play by your rules, let her go. Do you know what commands respect? A man who doesn't react, argue, or beg. A man who meets provocation with silence and walks away with dignity when he's not valued. This silence isn't emptiness, it's authority. Male silence is a powerful tool, but only if it comes from self-mastery, not fear. You're not quiet because you're afraid of losing her, you're quiet because you have nothing to prove. This confuses and intrigues her, making her wonder why you don't react like other men. That's when you transform from just another guy into the man she can't decipher or control. It is essential to understand that being quiet is not the same as repression or losing your character. Silence is not passivity, it is a power strategy. When you choose silence, you are not losing the conversation, you are demonstrating that you control when, how, and with whom you speak. Stop acting as if she is your emotional owner. She does not need to know everything you think and feel. Access to your inner world is earned, not given. Many men are like open books, which is why no one is interested in reading them. Start keeping things to yourself and speak with your actions, not your emotions. If a woman pulls away, don't react. If she provokes you, don't explode. If she ignores you, don't chase her. Do what a man who respects himself would do: observe, remain silent, and act with power. There is no need for arguments or to prove your point. Crying for her to understand is unnecessary. A woman doesn't need to hear you shout to recognize your value. She needs to feel your firm, silent, and unshakable presence, which is not built overnight. It's built by shifting from reacting to leading. Lead your time, your emotions, the conversation, and the connection's rhythm. Don't wait for her to dictate what to do. You decide, set the tone, and establish the boundaries. If you want respect, desire, and genuine admiration, start acting with intention, not out of need. The one who reacts obeys, but the one who leads leaves a lasting mark she can't erase. You've seen it now. To be irresistible, you don't need better looks, more money, or clever strategies. What you need is more control, more composure, and more detachment. You must become the man who doesn't bend, react, or give himself away easily. The key takeaway is this: women don't fall for the man who loves them the most, they fall for the man who loves himself the most. It's a harsh truth, I know, but it's the reality. It's a truth no one wants to admit because it sounds cruel and unromantic, and it shatters the fairy tale. But we're not here for fairy tales, we're here to awaken you, help you reclaim your power, and stop living based on her opinion of you. Every time you react, she takes the lead. Every time you justify your actions, you lose power. Every time you're emotionally volatile, you become less attractive. No matter how good your intentions are, if you don't lead with calmness, you're just another guy. An unremarkable man doesn't leave a lasting impression. What makes a man unforgettable isn't his desperate pursuit, but his emotional stability, strategic indifference, and ability to walk away with dignity when he's not valued. That, my friend, is irresistible. Now, reflect on your own experiences, the times you reacted, humiliated yourself, and lost yourself for a woman. How much longer will you trade your self-worth for scraps of attention? How many more times will you let her control you emotionally? It's time to wake up. Stop crying for someone who doesn't cry for you. Stop chasing someone who is just playing games with you. Stop giving your energy to those who don't deserve it. You're not here to beg for love, you're here to choose who respects you. If a woman leaves because you didn't react, beg, or kneel, let her go. You haven't lost a queen. You've just exposed a little girl playing with power, and I want you to always remember this: an emotionally weak man might be desired for a short time, but a stoic, reserved, and focused man will remain in a woman's mind forever. That man can be you, not tomorrow, not when she returns, but today, right now. If anything you've heard today resonated with you, made you uncomfortable, or even angered you, that's a good sign. It means you're waking up and that a part of you is tired of being the guy who only reacts and suffers. Now, you just need to start acting like the man you were meant to be. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment about a time a woman made you react and you realized you lost power by not controlling your emotions. I'll be reading and responding. I want to build a community of awakened, conscious, and strong men who lead, don't break for love, and no longer beg for respect because they have become respect itself. I want to create a community of awakened, conscious, strong men, men who lead, who don't break for love, men who no longer beg for respect because they've become respect. See you in the comments, and remember, if you don't control yourself, someone else will always control your story.